Hey there. So, as I promised, I'm going on today to how to handle red flags. I have a couple of information, but I will make it very brief as usual. How are you doing today? Okay, so when you see red flags are those things that you see in a date or somebody you are in a relationship with or somebody you're courting, and the things that make you uncomfortable, the things that signal to you that there is fire on the mountain. Because when you see a red flag, it's only in seed form, because now you are still dating or courting them. So imagine what will happen if or when you get married to them. So when you see those red flags, and your instincts will tell you, at times, if you are a spiritual person, a believer, you will pick certain things in your spirit. There will be like a warning, like, an alarm going off. Do not ignore red flags. Acknowledge red flags. Don't rationalize it. Maybe it's something I did. Maybe it's the way I said it. Hey, if it's a red flag, you must acknowledge that this is a red flag. That's number one. Then you go ahead and then evaluate it. Look at it. So, how does it happen? When does it happen? First time, second time, look at those things very well and then clarify through communication. Now, communication is the bedrock of every meaningful relationship. If you cannot communicate, what are you even doing with each other? I was listening to a couple that holds relationship talks, and I love what they said about when they were in courtship. They had um, this agreement that if at any point in their relationship before they get married, they realize any of them, either of them, realizes that they don't want to go ahead, that they shouldn't go ahead, that they must tell each other. Whoever receives such a conviction must reach out to the other, and they promise to break up amicably. I mean, that's maturity. Communication has to get to that point. You might love someone, but does not mean that you're going to end up getting married to them. If for any reason you have, you know, cause to doubt, you communicate. You communicate. Communication is a bedrock of every meaningful relationship. So communicate with this person. This is what I have noticed. And to me, this is a red flag. And then listen to them. While you're listening to them, you are watching whether they are actually aware, whether they are acknowledging what you have said or they are excusing it. And then you want to also look at what is the cause, where is it coming from? Is it from their childhood? Is it, all of those things you have to watch out. Then from their conversation, from their response to you, you are going to see also if they are willing to work on it or they're just going to explain it away. And even when they promise to work on it, you want to see, are they actually working on it? People could be very pretentious. They could pretend to be whoever for you. And that's why you don't do that alone. Reach out to a counselor. Encourage them to reach out to a counselor and be sure they're actually going for their therapy. And then you have to now be the judge at the end of the day if indeed you are convinced. Yes, their therapist might give them a clean bill of health. They might be looking like, they are good now and all of those things, but it's still left to you. Are they actually working on it? Are you sure they are working on it? Because you don't want to ignore red flags and you don't want to just run away without really knowing what it is. I know what most people do now, especially because there's been so many, information out there about red flags. Once people cite red flags, they run. But you don't always have to run. That's not the first thing to do because some of them are actually, things that can be worked on. And many of them, of course, I know you just have to run, but don't just run. Don't just run. Be sure that you are, you've done your best. So if after you have done your best, you see that, Omo, I need to run, please run. Run, oh, run. Because you have to be safe. You have to stay true to your values. You must not settle for less than mutual respect, compatibility, whether it's in your faith, whether it's in your purpose, because a marriage that will last must be purpose driven, among other things. So don't settle for less than what you deserve. And God is not in short supply of sons and daughters. For us who are believers, we know that. For those who don't believe, well, I know you believe that there are more women than men, and that's why people are settling for a lot of things that are not it. But for a believer, I'm going to be saying to you what I have received from the Lord. He is not in short supply of sons and daughters. Yes, you are 40 and 40 plus, and yes, maybe you have kids. Yes, maybe you've been married before, or maybe you have not even been married before. I have met men and they will say if a lady is 35 and above and she had never been married, no, they are no good. That means there's something very wrong. It's not always the case. There is nothing absolute about all of these things. Everybody has a uniquely different situation. But above all, I want to reassure you today, under God, God is not in short supply of sons and daughters. When you see red flags and you see that these people are not going to, they're not working on it, or they're not being sincere about it, or you're not convinced that they are being, truthful, no matter what they are telling you, please run. Run. It's better for you to run now than to wait until then, because you will still live after all, especially when the red flags are things that are detrimental to your well-being or could be fatal. So it's good for you to nip that in the bud. Do yourself a whole lot of good. Yes, even as a mature single, God is not in short supply of sons and daughters. And that's why I'm here, because we are working together with everyone who desires marriage to ensure you get your own companion. Okay, so cheer up. You're going to be fine. And yes, reach out to us, livingrealwithsarah@gmail.com. You can go on our website, livingrealwithsarah.com. You can send a WhatsApp chat to +1 410 762 9676, and we will work you through all of this together. Okay? Alrighty. So I'll see you again next episode. Keep living real. Bye for now.